Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a dish that I ate a lot of growing up. My mom and my aunts would come together and make this in huge batches, so we always had it for a snack, a picnic, or a meal. And today I'm going to be sharing with you my take on it. So the ingredients are pretty versatile. You want to have the right textures mostly in this, so just pick your ingredients based on that. So you'll need some pickled radish. This you can find pretty much at any Asian supermarket these days. And then we're gonna have some eggs, and then we'll have some zucchini and about 1.5 carrots I'll be using here, and then some kimchi. This is from my mom, homemade, but otherwise it's pretty easy to find now. I know that Costco sells it now, but any Asian supermarket should have it as well. Then we have some sliced pork belly. Think Korean BBQ. Otherwise you can use beef or completely omit the meat as well. And then we have some cooked white rice. This is instant rice, so it just needs 1.5 minutes in the microwave. Easy to find at an Asian supermarket as well. Then we have some nori or roasted seaweed. And then we have kalbi Korean barbecue sauce. So typically use with beef, but we're gonna use it for the pork. And then we also have some roasted sesame seeds, some sesame oil, and then salt and pepper. So we'll start with the rice. This is something you can also find at an Asian supermarket. If you don't have a rice cooker or you're pressed for time, this is great. Just needs 1.5 minutes in the microwave and you get that nice Korean sticky rice. It's about a cup's worth in each portion. So we're gonna use 4 for this recipe. And so basically you're gonna heat them all up and then add some salt and sesame oil to it and then set it aside to cool down. Now we're just going to cut up the vegetables into thin julienne pieces, and then we're going to cook them separately on the stove. Now we're going to combine 3 eggs in a bowl and whisk in some salt, some pepper, and then a teaspoon of sugar. And we'll set that aside as well. Then all I've done with the pickled radish is just drain it. And then the kimchi, we're going to get rid of the leafy part and use the meaty part of the cabbage because we don't want to get the kimbap wet. Then we're going to add about a teaspoon of sesame oil to the pan and cook our veggies. And we want to cook the veggies separately because they cook out at different times. The carrots should take about 5 to 8 minutes. And for the zucchini, about 4 to 5 minutes. They don't need as much time. And then you want to take out the inner parts of the zucchini first because they cook the fastest as opposed to the ones with the skin. And then remove that when it's ready. Now for the eggs, I'm just going to spray a little bit of avocado oil on the bottom and then add the eggs in. We're cooking this on a medium heat until it's fully cooked through, and then we'll flip it to cook on the other side for about another minute or so. Mine didn't come out exactly how it usually does, but we're just going to be cutting this into slices and putting it in the roll, so it's all right. Now for the pork, we're just going to be frying this in the same pan with no oil, as it will release a lot of oil. It's essentially like cooking bacon, so you want to cook this about 4 to 5 minutes on each side on a medium heat. And then you're just going to use a kitchen towel to get rid of any excess grease, just so that it gets nice and crispy. So this will cook another 2 minutes per side, and then we'll just put it back onto a kitchen towel, wipe the pan clean, and And then to this, we're gonna add in our barbecue marinade. And we're gonna put in about 3 tablespoons into the pan, again on a medium heat. And then we're gonna slice up the pork and put it back into the pan just to cook for a few more minutes with the sauce until it caramelizes a bit. Then I decided to add some red chili paste, also known as gochujang in Korean, just to add a bit of spice at the last minute. And then set it on a plate to cool down a bit. Now we have all of our ingredients cooked and have cooled down to room temperature and are good to work with and ready for assembly. We have a bit of sesame oil here, which I'll show you at the end what I do with it. Now for our seaweed or nori, I just wanted to point out a few things. So this is a standard size. So on one side it's shiny and one side it's rough. I'm not sure if you can tell in the video, but you can see in person. You want to have the shiny side down and the rough side facing you so that the rice catches on it. Wearing gloves helps handling the sticky rice a lot better. So you're going to take about a fistful of rice and start with that into a thin layer. And basically you want to make sure there's no patches or holes and fill the gaps with the rice up to 75% of the seaweed. Then you're going to grab a little bit of rice and place it on the top, and this is going to act as your glue when you seal the kimbap. Then you're going to just place your veggies, pretty much building your wrap, the zucchini, carrots, or whichever veggies you like. And then to this you're going to add your egg, and you want to have your pickled radish in the center or your kimchi. Either or works, but you want to have the wet in the middle, and then the pork I'm going to place in front, and then we're ready to roll. So normally you would have the bamboo roll here, but my mom and my aunts have done it freehand, and it's pretty much how I learned, but either way works, whatever's easier for you. So you'll want to press down on the seam of the rice so it sticks together, but be careful not to crack the nori. So this is where the sesame oil comes into play. This will help it from cracking when you go to slice it later on. And then to this, we're gonna just top it with some sesame seeds. And there you have it, your beautiful kimbap rolls ready to be cut. So the 4 cups of rice I used made exactly 5 rolls for me, with plenty of leftover fillings, but I was able to fill them quite generously. Now for the slightly tricky part is cutting it. You want to make sure you have a sharp knife to get a clean cut, otherwise it just presses the roll down and it doesn't look pretty. So use the sharpest knife you have. So I did have a lot of fillings left over, so basically I can just heat up some more rice and continue to make more rolls. I know there are a lot of elements to this dish, but I promise it's worth making, and it's also fun to do with a group of people. But pretty much when all your ingredients are ready and prepped, assembly is really quick, and this can be enjoyed any time of the day, and also stores pretty well wrapped in tin foil in the fridge, but doesn't last that long in our household. Pro tip for if you do take it out of the fridge, make sure it's whole and then you slice it up. So this tip is from my mom. Basically, the rice gets really hard if it's kept in the fridge, so to bring back the moisture, you're basically going to cook it in an egg wash, kind of like you would with French toast. And this also helps with masking the strong, delicious flavor of kimchi as well. So basically, you're just going to take each piece and lather it in the egg wash and cook this in a pan with a little bit of avocado oil, just probably 2 to 3 minutes per side on a medium-low heat. and once they turn golden brown on either side, they're pretty much ready and just as soft as they were the first time you made it. I hope you guys liked the video and stay tuned for more.